Hey everyone, welcome. This is Brandon Coppernall with TechWise Academy, co-founder. Um, hey, another live stream. Tonight's topic is what is Minecraft? So we're going to cover three things. What is it? Maybe which version, because as you probably have heard, there's multiple versions out there. And we're going to talk about, again, multiplayer and being safe online. But before we get started, I'm going to introduce my buddy here who's waiting in the weeds. Hey, Ryan, how are you doing?
Hey, doing well. I like your hat. Very
Thank
festive.
you.
Yeah.
Yes,
With
getting
the
in the
green
spirit.
lighting in the background, you definitely have that going on.
That's right, getting in the spirit. So, hey, Melanie's not with us tonight. So, Melanie Howe, she's a co-host here. We wish her well. She's not feeling very well. So I was out not feeling good. Now she's not feeling good. So we're going to carry on. So there's probably nothing more exciting for people than listening to two tech guys talking about really geeky stuff in video games, which is Minecraft tonight. So that'll be fun. So Ryan, let's get into it because we're very to the point people. What is Minecraft if you had to tell someone in about a tweet's length?
Oh, and about a tweets link.
Yeah.
So Minecraft is what we call a sandbox video game, and it's really allows the players to build and kind of create in many different ways. And we see that within the classes that we teach. And we use Minecraft in several of our classes that we teach at the Innovation Connector and online because it has a lot of good learning value within the game of Minecraft. And so it's a little different than the games that you and I grew up playing, right? And parents may look at their kids playing this game and wonder, like, when I was playing a game growing up, there was an end, there were levels, there were bosses. I don't see my kid going through any of that. And so, like, I want to kick it back to you and ask, because you probably play Minecraft more than I do. Like, what's the gameplay? What's the point of playing Minecraft?
Yeah. So one thing I'll tell you, my older brother, his comment about Minecraft always was, "Man, those graphics, there were better graphics when when I was younger, right?" Like, so you look at that
Yeah.
and you think, "Man, this looks like an old game." It's anything but an old game. Yeah. So the way I kind of describe Minecraft is it's kind of like a Lego sandbox world in a lot of ways. Everything's built in square blocks. The players, or your kids, and maybe even yourself if you're playing, can get different blocks to manipulate in different ways to create new things. So kind of like ingredients to create something new, right? So a lot of times players, when they get started, they're just kind of tasked with, all right, I need to gather materials to build shelter first, right? Um, and let's back up. If they're not playing creative mode, let's just say they're playing the default survival mode. Um, so they got to go cut a tree down, right? And then they got to take that wood, create new wood blocks, create sticks, create an axe, create a sword. And so then they go through this kind of progression to learn how to take different things they gather and create something new, and eventually create a home, and then maybe go spelunking throughout the mines in the game to get more stuff. The game's just a little bit different in that it is a big sandbox world, right? Like there is kind of an end near the end. It's actually called the end if they ever want to get to that point. But the game doesn't, just kind of hand it to them. They got to go find everything they're going to need to get there. So rather than think of it in, the standard levels, there's just definitely a progression as you learn how to find stuff, maneuver where stuff may be found, build different, more complex things. You're going to get closer to that place, right? And so that's just kind of survival mode. The other side of it is more just open, kind of creative mode is what it's called. And that's where they kind of have access to everything up front and they can build. So if you've ever seen any of these pictures or these videos of these large cities, we're from Indiana, and I remember covering where somebody basically built schematic of Indianapolis in Minecraft, which took hundreds upon hundreds of hours, probably thousands to do. But I mean, anybody with that kind of imagination can go out and put all those pieces together and create really cool structures or living areas, right? And then I would say probably the last thing that's really neat about it is it does have some kind of basic electrical components to that game. So,
Yeah,
you know,
redstone.
yeah, through red cell. So we know if we hit a switch on the wall, a light comes on, right? There's some basic elements of that in Minecraft so kids can learn how to kind of manipulate electrical current in the game through redstone to turn on lights, to do automatic doors, or push a button
Mhm.
and a trap door opens out or something moves. So it's just, to me, it's just a same as Lego. You're really learning how to architect and engineer new solutions, new things. And so you may be watching and you may see like, man, my kid's been playing for weeks on end. This doesn't look any different. Oh, believe me, they have done a lot of different stuff that they just may have went to a whole other part of the world to do something new.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And to your point about building, I know there's some downloads that you can do that, like, you can basically, there's a download where you recreate Disney World, where it creates
Mhm.
that in the world for you, and you can actually go around and ride the rides and do some different things. And so people have spent a lot of time creating these worlds and like you said, architecting different things within Minecraft. Um, yeah, my son, I just harkened back to his first days playing it when he was probably 5, my oldest son, and really lost his place in the world and couldn't find his build anymore.
Mhm.
And so as you guys, as parents out there, probably, kids are getting Minecraft for Christmas and for other things. And they may run through the same thing. Their kids may lose their world or accidentally burn down their house or something like that. But that's all part of the learning process of playing Minecraft.
Yeah. So my 3 kids play together occasionally. Usually it's short lived because they all want to do something different, so they all start fighting. But they, my youngest, seeing what he's building now compared to what he started with is just
Yeah.
kind of crazy to see. He's even gotten to the point where he's basically building roller coasters in Minecraft because he saw
Yeah.
somebody doing that already, found that really interesting, wanted to learn how to do it himself. And yeah, he's messing with redstone tracks, mine carts, how high and how far he can push a mine cart to get it to do what he wants to do.
Yeah.
So I mean, they don't even have to build structures to live in or whatever, right? They can just kind of build whatever's on their mind that day.
Yeah.
Um, and he's kind of like me. He plays a lot with lava and just seeing what he can do with that. And yeah, he has burned down more than one home, just kind of playing with that stuff.
Yep.
Sorry for the pause. Still dealing with the cough after all this time. So Ryan, I wanted to kick it off to you for a minute and just talk about how there's multiple versions of Minecraft. There's Minecraft on tablets. There's Minecraft on consoles like Xbox and Switch and so on. There's Minecraft on PC, and now Microsoft owns Minecraft, and now they're doing all these different things. And now there's educational Minecrafts out there. So I wanted to give you an opportunity to kind of walk through the Minecraft versions and help a parent kind of figure out, what do I need if I'm looking at getting Minecraft for my kid.
Yeah, absolutely. And so there are, like you mentioned, several versions of Minecraft. Jump back a little bit. The original developing company of Minecraft was called Mojang, and so they developed this version in Java. When it was first developed, they were basically okay with other people taking their source code and creating other versions or modifications of the game, and those are called mods. And so that's the very initial version of Minecraft. It was built in the programming language Java. I'm going to share my screen real quick here and I'm going to actually remove you, Brandon. And let's switch it up here a little bit. There we go. All right. So it would come in this Minecraft launcher. And really, in the Java edition of Minecraft, you can change the version to any version that has ever been released in Minecraft. There's a lot of functionality there. And this is only going to be available on your PC or your Mac. So I just posted in our comments section a really handy guide that really kind of walks through these a little bit deeper than I'm going to tonight. But suffice to say, if they're playing and your kids are asking about Java edition, they've probably played it on their Kindle before. They've probably played it on their iPad or whatever. And now they're kind of upgrading to this Java edition. It gives them a lot more flexibility in how they can change the game, how they can learn to code. And if they're playing online, there are a lot more servers built online built around Java edition, right? Because other developers have been able to take that code and create servers for it. And so that online world makes Java edition really good for your kids. Another edition that your kids may talk about or ask about, it's called Bedrock Edition, but you probably won't see it as Bedrock Edition. This is one that you will probably just see as Minecraft if you're downloading it in the App Store or Google Play Store or Windows, Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo Switch. Any other place that you're going to download this Minecraft is going to be Bedrock Edition. So a few years ago, Microsoft purchased Mojang and Minecraft, and they've really added a lot to this. It's really going to make you like create a Microsoft account to log into these nowadays, but there's a lot of support behind it that they've added within the Minecraft framework. And so if you're downloading it, you're going to have Bedrock Edition. It won't say that. It'll just be known as Minecraft. And that's what I've got pulled up here. There's a lot fewer options on this screen, and that's really meant to be a more straightforward version of Minecraft for your kids to play. It really has a lot better functionality for connecting two people in the room playing Minecraft. Maybe they want to play together on the same machine. And so there's a lot of good functionality built in for that makes it easy. And they have this marketplace where you can go in and download. This is where you could download maybe a Disney World or some other world built in Minecraft. All of this is kind of makes it easy to do that. And this is the starter version of Minecraft. And then lastly, we have Education Edition. Now, this is one that you're probably, it's not going to like my authentication. Maybe I can get that in quickly. But so Microsoft has a lot of things that they built into this Education Edition that allow for learning within the game. And that's not going to happen, so I'm just going to close that for right now. But Education Edition, you actually have to buy a license through Microsoft in order to be able to use this edition. So most likely you wouldn't use it. It's really set up for classrooms, for a teacher and like up to 20 students. And this has chemistry built into this. The students are actually like being chemists and kind of creating things within their world. And as we use in some of our classes, it actually has a coding component that's much easier to start using. Microsoft's Make Code, which is equivalent to Scratch. Students can jump into this edition, start coding with visual blocks, dragging and dropping visual blocks right away. So they've really added a lot of stuff. This is a really great version, and we've just recently started using it in our classes. But I think you liked it last time we used it, Brandon. I think it's a really good option when we're in that learning environment, right? We want to be able to use Minecraft for coding or for some of those other things. So those are the three, like, high level view of those three versions. If you want a little bit more detail, click that link that I put in the comments that talks about that. I'll go through it a little bit more detail there.
So what version is on the tablets? Because that's where a lot of kids start, right? They're at home, they're on tablets, they're not usually on a full computer. And they usually get to tablets before they even get to consoles, because controllers can sometimes be a little more difficult to learn. So what version are parents seeing on tablets?
On tablets, well, let's say if they're trying to play Minecraft and you haven't actually bought the app, if you're looking for a free version of Minecraft, it doesn't exist. All right. So if you want your kids to play Minecraft, you have to pay the app, buy the app to download it onto your device. And that is going to be Bedrock Edition. So everything, they call it Bedrock Edition because in the game of Minecraft, if you mine down, straight down into the earth, at a certain point, you're going to hit bedrock and you can't go past that. That's the foundation of the earth. You can't do anything with that. And so that's why they've named this Bedrock Edition. This is sort of the foundational version for all platforms that they're going to use going forward. So they would be using Bedrock Edition on their tablets.
Yeah, and Bedrock Edition will get updates as the game kind of progresses and grows. So, I mean, for example, they not too terribly long ago added more for underwater, and they added more to the Nether, which is another dimension in the game and stuff like that. Those typically come after the Java edition. Is that correct?
Those typically, yeah. And I think if I was to guess, I would say we're going to see those updates happening more frequently to Bedrock than to Java edition. Just the way that the Minecraft world is kind of progressing and development cycles, I would say they would do more for Bedrock. You'd probably see that coming out more frequently going forward. But that's where they're going to start. Like you said, tablets are easier to use. Starting out using your fingers, then you kind of upgrade to the consoles, maybe using a gamepad, and then finally upgrade to a keyboard and mouse, which is probably the most difficult to master for the kids early on.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, you make a good point. So if a parent's looking, they see Java Edition, they see Bedrock Edition, and so on, you would probably advise, hey, look at Bedrock Edition, seeing how the game's kind of progressing, what Microsoft's doing with it. Clearly, they're putting some resources behind Bedrock Edition. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. And they've unlocked some of the education edition features in Bedrock. There's some ways that you can get to that. But you won't see, you'll just see it labeled as Minecraft. Don't even look for Bedrock Edition. Look for Minecraft and Minecraft : Java Edition. Anything that's just Minecraft is going to be the Bedrock Edition that we're talking about here.
Yeah, and I know, like, if you've had an Xbox for a while, they had the Xbox 360 edition, and now they just have Minecraft. And so you're right, they're moving to that. 360 edition still works. It's probably the simpler of the two, but now it's clearly just Minecraft. The other question I just thought of is another benefit of going with Bedrock Edition, for example, and having a Microsoft account. It does seem like that can move back and forth. When, for instance, I have an Xbox, I have a PC, it knows who I am both places. I don't have to have multiple accounts because I have it on two different systems. Has that been your experience as well?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So if you log in with that Microsoft account on any of your devices, the stuff that you save, the worlds that you've created, like, you can access them from any of the other devices. And you can, like you said, I can take the download that I did for my Xbox, which would be Bedrock Edition, and download Bedrock Edition on my computer and use the same credentials to log in. And it works as long as I'm downloading the app on my computer, not Java Edition. Downloading that standard Minecraft, then it should work fine.
Yeah, and if you download the app and you don't have an account, they'll have you pay, right? They'll have you create one and make a payment. So I wanted to throw you a little bit of curveball. We didn't talk about this, but parents might be seeing Minecraft Dungeons. I know my kids played this all the time for a while, but have you had experience with Minecraft Dungeons, and how is that different?
So I know one of my sons downloaded Minecraft Dungeons, but I don't know that he got into it really that deeply. And I know there are some Minecraft like story mode. Now I do know that they went through that. And it was more of a choose your own adventure, kind of, it walked you through different things and you got to answer questions yes or no, or what action you wanted to take, and it kind of progressed you through the story. That's the way that game worked. So I don't know about Dungeons. Have you used Dungeons?
Yeah, absolutely. I've played a little bit with the kids. It's just a dungeon crawler. It's more of a role playing type, just loot game. As they progress and it gets more difficult, they get better loot. So it kind of gives them some sort of feedback loop to just keep playing and keep getting better. And I know my two boys, they like to play it together, and my youngest, it seemed like every new DLC or downloadable content came out, he was like, "Here's $5, Dad. Can
I
you
want
get
it.
the next DLC for
Yeah.
Dungeons?" So it is a little bit different, and it does have a start and finish, unlike kind of Minecraft. But all the animations, characters, creatures, all that stuff that are in that game they're familiar with from playing Minecraft
Right.
before. So my youngest also really got into Minecraft story mode for a while too, and which is kind of neat. They do get to make decisions, but it's kind of
Mhm.
like live action Minecraft, which for
Yeah.
them that's really cool to see too.
Mhm.
So we talked about Bedrock Edition, Java, and things like that. Let's talk about, you could play those games with someone on the couch together. It just goes into split screen. But let's talk about multiplayer. We've talked about multiplayer safety before, just online safety before. Um, what advice do you have, when a parent's concerned, hey, who are they going to be playing with online? How do I keep them safe?
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes back to a lot of what we talked about in our very first show. When you're creating accounts for kids, make sure that their birthday is entered correctly. If you're purchasing an account, and I know you can do this on most tablets or most family link programs. Like if I was to download Minecraft, I can like assign it to my kids to let them play it, and they would be playing it as a child instead of having full access as I would as a parent. And so making sure that the account structures are set up so that they can, a lot of that's already built in to the Microsoft, the Google, and Apple as far as how they manage family accounts.
Yeah,
Now my
excellent.
phone's just beeping and saying, "Did you say Google?" Um,
um, yeah, my wife's car actually thinks I say Google a lot, and I really don't, but it keeps interrupting our conversations. Um, Yeah, so I mean, I think this, advice that I gave in that show too still matters is, just follow some of the same rules that you would follow in real life, right? Like you wouldn't tell a stranger where you live, how old you are.
mhm.
Um, don't give them information that they shouldn't already know if there's somebody that truly knows you, right? So I think, just keep kind of using common sense rules and things like that to abide by is always good advice from even in Minecraft safety.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about the chat functionality. I know that was a topic in another show on Roblox. Um, what do you feel is the pros and cons of the chat features in Minecraft? What have you seen?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. And honestly, like I've seen my kids playing online, but it's typically what it's good for is if you have 3 or 4 friends over, right, and they can all jump in, be on the same team on a server, and so that's been my experience. I've been able to listen to the conversations as they're happening in my house.
Mhm.
Um, Honestly, I haven't seen a whole lot about the chat, so you might actually be better suited to talk about that if you've played online with other people.
Yeah, it's most for me, it's been voice, right? Just connecting with someone on voice. I know there's things that you can do on Microsoft's safety
Hmm.
where, and this is actually probably a really good thing how Microsoft's starting to set up Minecraft is you could set it up to where they can't have voice chat or even text chat with people they don't know. You can set it
Yeah,
up to where it's friends only, or friends of friends, but not, just anyone. And those kinds of things I think are really good,
yeah,
um, about how uh, parents can set that up front and just kind of have peace of mind that, hey, my kid's not going to be talking to somebody that they shouldn't be talking to.
yeah,
I know I have all my kids set up that way, very locked down on who they could talk to. And then as they get older, I kind of lax the rules a little bit, but because I know I can trust them a little better about what they'll say and not say. But that's really important. Um, Mel might be watching. So a question came in,
yeah.
and I wanted to throw out at you is, can you explain what we mean by server
Um,
in Minecraft?
yeah, let's talk about the non-technical. Yeah, so a server is basically, and when we typically talk about it in Minecraft, it's a just like you would think a server somewhere out on the web where someone has created a um, a version of Minecraft that allows other players to connect to it, right? And so that server is setting out there in the cloud. Your child can enter this address, and it will connect them from their game, and they will actually join what's going on in that server on the cloud. Same way as if they're playing Fortnite or Apex and they join in with other people, right? They're actually kind of joining in on this. And so really a server just means this game is being hosted and other people can connect to it. Because technically, if we want to get real technical about it, we can create a server on my machine here and allow my son across the room to connect to it, right? So it's any version of the game where someone not on the same device can connect to it and start playing in the same world together. And so that's what we mean. There are a lot of well-known servers out there your kids may be asking you to play, like on Hypixel or something else. These servers have been built and curated to have these fun interactive games that your kids can join in and play with their friends on. But that's where we have to really monitor the chat and worry about things like interacting with other people that they don't know. So
Yeah, so I mean, servers just basically whoever's serving up the content that time, And so if you're connecting with a friend, they're serving up that content, so they're the host server in this case. And Minecraft was really built that way. I know there's places that you can go online to kind of rent a server that everyone connect to. We do it from time to time for some of our Minecraft classes. But when we say server in Minecraft's terms, it's usually just whoever they're kind of connecting to. Java Edition, it gets a little more complex because you have to worry about IP addresses and ports and all this other stuff. But if you get Bedrock Edition, again, just Minecraft, it makes that a lot easier for anyone to kind of join with each other. And again, if you're following Microsoft's family rules and safety guidelines, you can kind of control who they can join, right? They shouldn't be able to join someone they don't know if that's the setting that you set prior to them getting online. So that's really what that means.
And hey, I'll pull it up real quick just to share.
That's really good.
Yeah, so it would look something like this, like servers, and this is the Bedrock Edition. So this is already built in and kind of manages, featured servers, additional servers. Like I had to add this one directly because we created a TechWise server for students to join in one of our classes. See, for this one, there's 19,000 people playing online on this server. Now, they're not all doing the same thing. There's different mini games inside of it. They may be doing Bed Wars or some kind of tag game or something like that. But it also has my friends list. And
you need some friends, right?
I do need some friends. I have no friends. And so, thanks, Brandon. And then, so really in Bedrock Edition, they've kind of managed that by calling them realms. So if your kid's asking for a realm, basically they're asking for you to pay for them to be able to play with their friends online. And it lets them have their own server that their friends can connect to. And friends can play for free in your realm. So if I was to create one, well, that's not a good example. I don't have any friends. But if your kid had friends, it's $7.99 a month to rent this server space for them to be able to play with their friends, any device, to be able to create this world to jump into.
Yeah, I mean, the difference between this and then just joining a friend and playing is that you're basically renting a server that's always on, meaning you don't need to be online for your friends to get on and go play in that world. So that's really useful, especially if, like, let's say you were building an entire replica of Indianapolis.
Yeah.
You might have
with multiple people, right?
Yeah, a bunch of friends that might want to get on that server, and they could be working while you're, doing homework. And then when they're doing homework or doing something else, you can get on and you can continue the work. So yeah, that was a really good question. A good thing to mention, because when you hear realms, it's really just renting a server that's always on, that maybe your child and their friends, or even you, could join and play at
Mhm.
any time, and you do not have to worry about someone being on. So the opposite of that is when I was playing a lot more often, we would say like, which one of us is going to host this world, and then we had to wait till that person was online
Yeah.
so we can go back in and start doing our work again. So there there are some definite benefits to what Microsoft's doing with Minecraft to really kind of encourage that collaboration and play and cross-play and things like that, that I think is really valuable for Minecraft. It's going to be exciting to see what's going on in that. And your
Yep.
kids may also ask questions and hear about Minecon and these big conventions where people are cosplaying as Minecraft mobs or characters, and they're going to learn about, hey, what's coming in Minecraft, and then partake in activities and things like that. You probably won't hear that too much from like your 5 or 6 year old, but you might have a teenager that might say, hey, that's really interesting to me, I would like to. That's really what it is when you hear that. It's kind of like a Comic-Con or any of these conventions that you hear that um, is really fun. And there's definitely a worldwide audience for that. I mean, Minecraft's still one of the top most popular games in the world, and I think somehow Microsoft's been able to make it even more accessible and more
Yeah,
popular,
absolutely.
I think, in a lot of ways. So hey, Ryan, do you have any other last thoughts on Minecraft, things that parents need to know?
No, we have a few other blog posts. I mean, if you want to check out some of our Minecraft, and we have some on our YouTube channel as well, just some different builds for your kids.
Mhm.
But I think there's a lot of value. I think it's one of those constructive, like, screen time,
Mhm.
and not watching the YouTube videos of random people going and hitting creepers and blowing up. Right? That's not. But actually playing and creating in a Minecraft world, there's some 3D, some spatial recognition that goes along with that, and it's kids get it really quickly, to be honest. And like every one of our classes that we host, I know some commands that the kids don't know and know how to code a little bit. But when we get to gameplay, the kids are just light years ahead of me, so much faster than me in doing anything
Excuse
on
me.
those games. So,
Yeah,
um,
I'll never forget the first class where um, before we got into PvP and creative mode, where we let them kind of run loose, we did a few mini games, right? Where it's like, all
mhm.
right, build a house or build a structure in this much time, and then everyone voted on who did the best one. And man, some of those kids were just going circles around us, and we were playing with them. And I was feeling pretty good about my build, and then theirs comes up on the screen, and I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, they just get it, and it's just very natural. And I like that you point out it's good constructive screen time. There's definitely a way to play Minecraft or beyond Minecraft where it's not as constructive. But I think when they're using that time to explore and try new things,
Mhm.
figure out how do I do this, and or if they're playing survival mode, how do I get to the end? There's a lot of learning and a lot of just problem solving, really going through some of the same stuff that we teach in class, right?
Mhm.
Decomposing and abstraction. How do I get to this point?
Embracing mistakes, like something not work, figuring it out, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I'll tell you, my 7-year-old will sit there on the same bit of redstone to get it just right. um, and he'll do it for 30, 40 minutes, and he will not be frustrated because they just embrace, like, it's because it's play. I feel like it doesn't feel like it's school when you make a
Yeah.
mistake, right? They just, oh, okay, well, I'll try this. Oh, okay, I'll try this. And and I've actually seen players get to the end and they're fighting the ender dragon, which is the final boss or whatever, lose, and then build everything back up and go back again. So, I mean, it's just, I think a good constructive screen time is really a good way to describe it. And I think for me as a parent, I always, how do I maximize screen time? I know my kids are going to be on the screen. I know they're going to be
Yeah.
on the screen at school. I know they're going to be on screen in downtime. But how do I maybe encourage maybe positive screen discipline, or just, hey, if you're going to be on screen learning. And I think Minecraft is one of those sneaky ways that you could do that, and they still are getting some lessons out of that when they don't even realize it.
Yep, absolutely. There's just so much that they can do with it, and it just lends a lot to creativity and just everything that you would want your kids to learn. And may mention it, as you parents, you may be watching it later. Your kids get something for Christmas, or if you download a version, or if you have any questions about version, reach out to us, drop a comment in this video later on. We'd be happy to answer it and help out in any way that we can.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's what I was going to cover next is, parents, as you're listening or watching YouTube or Facebook, ask your questions in the comments. Let us know, hey, what does this mean? Or does this make sense? Or is this safe? Or what is, doesn't matter. Just ask, and we'll definitely answer. Some of our best content really comes out of parents' questions, because we know that, hey, somebody needs an answer. And so definitely leave comments on YouTube, on Facebook, in here. Check out our blog posts. They're in the comments now. We'll put them in the description of this video too on YouTube, just so you could take a look at those blog posts, making a decision. And then I guess I should go ahead and tee up what our next time will be on. So we will not be back until January. Thus, I'm wearing the Santa hat to celebrate the holidays. But when we come back in January, we're actually thinking our next show will be kind of that, hey, parents, your kids might have gotten a toy or a cool game or a cool gift or whatever, something STEM related, and you may have questions. Send them in, email them to us. Just go to our website, let us know, or drop them in these comments again. Go to Facebook, ask questions. We're all over the place. We're listening, we're watching, and we'll definitely get them answered. But we would like to maybe make that show more, hey, we got a parent question or a parent comment, let's answer that, and try to help parents kind of figure out what to do. What I can tell you, though, is I can't help you with the boxes that have like 645 different ties and locks and things like that to get the toys out. Unfortunately, we can't help you with those, but I know you will come across those as parents. So I apologize now, because I know your pain. So that's it. Follow us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, drop some comments. We'd love to hear from you. But thank you for watching tonight. And Ryan, thanks as always for spending time with me tonight.
Yep, I appreciate it, Brandon. Hope you feel better. Mel, hope you're doing well at home and feel better soon.
Yep. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.